Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the Rabbit. As you're going to notice, Mr. Rabbit truck is still here, and not for any good reason. I got everything back together, and of course, as usual, I forgot to film it. Well, I took it for a ride, and something happened. The motor fell out. Just kidding, the motor didn't fall out. But what did happen was, motor oil was actually falling out of the breather on the valve cover. So it had a hose hooked to this, dumped into the ground for time being, and coated the whole bottom of the truck in oil. So what I found, in fact, was rather sad, and that led us to where we are now. So you'll notice, oh dear, broken piston. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. Let's go over here and we'll take a look at what we got cracking now. So when I took it apart, I found we had a South Bend clutch in here. I want to say this is a stage 3 endurance. It has the full friction disc, and it actually is a really streetable clutch. It feels fantastic. Not that it went very far, but that's pretty much new, so that's good. Transmission's in good shape. We're not going to mess with that. And then we got the block. And you might notice something here. So I was told this is an OBD1 block, and if you're familiar with Volkswagen 2 liters, ABAs in particular, not just any other 8-valve, but ABAs in particular, OBD1 engines are rumored to have, and they do have, they should at least have oil squirters. And you'll notice there's not even an orifice for one to fit. So, alrighty. So we are still waiting for some tools to come in, as well as the replacement spring kit for the cylinder head. So, while we wait for that, why don't we do something useful? And we'll get my glovies on, and we are going to prepare to put the crankshaft back in the block. Alright. Real quick before I go ahead and throw this in, let's just look at the parts we ended up using. We didn't use the SP8 turbo stuff I had bought for this build. What we've done instead is we've got Wiseco, whatever piston, and Mk1 Technologies rods, which are looking really nice. And what we did do is we also, I forgot to mention, had the block line honed after the mains were put, ARP mains were put in. But carefully, I mean more carefully than what I was just doing. Cool. That's looking good. And some of the assembly lube on each of the journals. And obviously we're going to turn this over by hand once I get everything torqued to make sure it's good. And we'll do the same thing once we put the rods in also. So we should be in just fine and dandy shape here momentarily. Nice and clean. Boom. Go right home. Beautiful. Alright. Okay. Main caps are in. And we're going to clean all of the washers off. And remember, always read your instructions. We're going to 60 foot-pounds, 3 even steps. So 20, 40, 60. But you clean all the threads in the block. They already did that for me and installed them, so we're good. Inspect everything good. Loctite may be used. Don't worry about it. Install main caps. Okay. The thing I'd recommend you buy if you don't have one, which I don't have, but I'm going to purchase because I'd be foolish not to at this point in the build, is a paint marker. So what we're going to do is every time I torque a fastener, I mark it. And if I am smart, what I'll do is I'll get 3 different colors. First color will indicate 20, next will indicate 40, and the final color will indicate 60. And that's how I will know that I have torqued everything adequately and I haven't missed any steps along the way, which I think would be wise at this point in the project because we're pretty far down the rabbit hole at this point in time. Right, we're back. So, I went ahead and I got 3 color paint markers. I got 4. But I'm planning to only use 3 of them. So I think we're going to go first level, second level, red is done. And we'll shake these up. I also did torque everything to the first step of 20. So we're just going to check it real fast. Alright, second stage of torque, which is going to be 40 foot-pounds. Let's make sure our wrench is set. $39.9, I'll take that. Alright, where do we want to start? I think we'll start in the middle. Okay, stage 2 of torquing done. And we'll just confirm that everything is still happy. Oh yeah, spins over beautifully. Now, we'll go ahead Yep, perfect. 60, that'll be our final torque. Alright, main studs are torqued. So that is one section of the rotating assembly complete. Excellent. Let's see how she turns. Yeah. Nice and butter smooth. No wiggling, nothing. Beautiful. Shut the torque wrench off. Call that good. Pop this off of here. Move on to the next item. Alright, so now I suppose what we'll be able to do is, there we are. Okay, I should, yes, I can rotate this thing comfortably. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and attempt to pop in these pistons here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the lint-free towel that I have soaked with some oil. We're going to wipe down, sure doesn't look lint-free to me. I'm going to wipe down the cylinder bores. Make sure everything is looking nice. Has a quick little coating of oil on it. Some motor oil on the piston and on the rings here. Make sure everything's nice and sloopy goopy, nice and happy, ready to go. I think that should be sufficient. The rod cap off, and now take a note, one side has no markings, the other has 2 markings, so that's how we'll know where they go. Now, there's a dot here, right here, it's for front wheel drive, but anyways, there's a dot. The dot's going to point to the nose of the crank, so here, if you know anything about 2 liters, the distributor is by the transmission, so the dot is going this way. We have now also, you want to index your rings. I'm going to do mine offset about halfway, so that way your gaps do not overlap because you will get blow by. I'll slide this over carefully.
Ooh, come on. Oh, she's out of the groove. There we go. There we go. Don't buy Chinese junk, guys. Always read the instructions for your fasteners. If you don't, you just run the risk of causing yourself a headache. So, always pay much mind to that. Alright. There we go. We'll zoom you guys in a little bit and get you closer to the action. See if you can see the torque wrench. For this, we're going to use orange and red. Orange will be first stage torque, red will be the angle torque. That way we'll know we're good. Alright, let's go. First stage. Alrighty. So we got the pistons and the rods in, and that's pretty much all we can do for right now. I'm waiting on a head gasket, and this is where it'll sit. So ARP head studs are installed into the block, and we'll deal with that later. But you can see the rods hanging out in there. Everything's nice and tidy. Everything's nice and tight, torque to spec, paint marking on everything, so I don't have to wonder at night, did I tighten that? I tightened it. We're good. So, until next time, this is where we stand. And we will resume as soon as the head gasket gets here and get the rest of this motor together back in the Rabbit truck and get doing some burnouts or something. Thanks for watching.